Welcome to this jaw-dropping video where we capture the most unbelievable moments on camera. Get ready for a roller coaster of emotions as we explore unbelievable events that will leave you gasping and questioning reality. You won't believe your eyes. The mountainside next to the road starts to tremble, cracks forming along the surface. Without warning, a massive chunk of earth breaks loose, crashing down rapidly. Trees that were once anchored to the soil come tumbling with it, falling onto the road in a swift and terrifying rush. Could this be the beginning of a disaster? As the train moves along the snowy track, the friction between its wheels and the rails, combined with the electrical energy, sparks an intense burst of light. The flames flicker, dazzling against the white landscape, creating an eerie moment of electricity. Electricity and snow in a collision of forces. A massive container truck has become stuck at the intersection where the train tracks meet. When the train comes thundering down its tracks, it crashes into the truck, smashing the container to pieces. The sound of metal breaking and splintering is deafening. How could this happen so quickly? A ship becomes stranded, its massive body leaning heavily against a steel bridge as it struggles to stay afloat. Another larger vessel arrives to assist, and with great effort, the trapped ship is finally freed. How much tension can a ship withstand before it's torn apart? This car has flipped over on a steep mountain road, lying on its side, with no way to move it back upright. A group of people works desperately to lift the car, but the moment it's up, the steep slope causes it to roll away once again. The tension is unbearable, and you can't help but wonder if they'll ever be able to stop it. Numerous boats, anchored along the river, are swept away by the strong current, tumbling down the water's path. Others struggle to stay upright, constantly tilting in the chaotic flow. The sheer power of nature has these boats at its mercy. How will they survive this? A young woman is absorbed in her phone as she crosses the train tracks. She doesn't notice the approaching train until the very last second. In a panicked rush, she pulls herself back just in time. How close did she come to disaster? It's a shocking reminder of how quickly things can change. Snow from the mountain crashes down in a deafening roar, bringing with it sheets of ice that invade nearby homes. The once familiar landscape is transformed into a desolate white wilderness as houses become buried beneath a layer of ice and snow. The freezing wind howls like a monster howl. Will anyone survive? A massive flood surges through a residential area, bringing with it mud, debris, and trees. The water level rises quickly, threatening homes and businesses. The power of the flood is relentless as it sweeps through, destroying everything in its path. How much more devastation will this catastrophe? A massive rock slide from the mountain causes a thunderous crash as it tumbles down, completely blocking the road. The dust and debris fly into the air, covering everything in sight. The sheer size and force of the landslide is mind-boggling. How will anyone get through? The floodwaters spill over the road, forcing vehicles to quickly maneuver to higher ground. People are left standing outside, helplessly watching nature's fury unfold before their eyes. How much longer can the road hold before it's completely washed away? The freezing temperatures have caused the vehicles to become completely immobilized, their engines frozen solid. A thick blanket of snow and ice covers every inch of the cars, making them unrecognizable. How long will this cold snap last? And when will the roads be safe again? Houses are completely buried beneath the thick layer of snow and ice, resembling a scene from the Ice Age. The roofs are barely visible, completely encased in snow. How could anyone possibly survive in such extreme conditions? A massive ice chunk breaks loose from a glacier, plummeting into the sea with a thunderous splash. The impact sends waves crashing in all directions, forcing tourists nearby to run for safety. The power of nature in this moment is terrifying. How far will the destruction reach? A volcano erupts violently, spewing lava and ash into the air. The rumbling sound shakes the earth as molten rock flows relentlessly down its slopes. In the distance, the white expanse of ice is juxtaposed with the fiery chaos. The sight is both awe-inspiring and terrifying. Will the eruption ever cease? A thick, black cloud of smoke rises from the ground, its dense volume reaching up to meet the white clouds in the sky. The smoke is an ominous sign of a raging fire or explosion, and the air is thick with the stench of danger. How long will it take to put out such a monstrous blaze? The luxury yacht collides with another, crushing its bow with an immense force. The iron railing crumples, twisted and misshapen. What caused such a violent impact? This is not just an accident, it's a disaster unfolding before our eyes. A group of people is walking through a train tunnel when they suddenly hear the unmistakable sound of an approaching train. Panic sets in as they rush to get out of the way, just in time to avoid a collision. How quickly can danger strike when you least expect it? The ocean is in turmoil as waves crash violently against a large cargo ship. The force of the water is so strong that the ship tilts dangerously, its massive frame barely able to hold on. The natural power is undeniable. How much longer can the ship stay afloat in these conditions? A huge rock breaks free from the mountain's edge, plummeting quickly down the slope. Those below can only watch in horror as the rock speeds toward them. How can they possibly escape in time? The power of nature is terrifying. A small boat begins to sink slowly, its hull taking on water as it disappears beneath the waves. The crew is helpless as the boat continues to sink into the ocean. How much longer before it vanishes completely? A newly built house has shifted dangerously after the ground beneath it began to sink. The house leans dramatically to one side, threatening to collapse at any moment. The foundation has given way. What will happen next? Thank you for sticking with us until the end of this video. We hope you were as captivated by these unbelievable moments as we were. Stay tuned for more heart-pounding footage in the future. Don't miss out.